Hola amigos, bienvenidos. Hi my friends, welcome. Hola, ¿qué tal? Hi, how are you? And welcome one day more to our program. Today, a basic topic that is, is basic, as I tell you, and it's necessary that you know. Nationalities, nacionalidades. Nationalities, nacionalidades. Español, española, for male, for woman. Spanish. Americano, americana, American. Chino, China, Chinese. Francés, francesa, French. Mexicano, mexicana, Mexican. Sueco, sueca, Swedish. Inglés, inglesa, English. Italiano, italiana, Italian. Ruso, rusa, Russian. Argentino, argentina, Argentinian. Portugués, portuguesa, Portuguese. Canadiense, only one for men and women, Canadian. Danés, danesa, Danish. Polaco, polaca, Polish. Okay, we repeat. Pay attention, something, because there is some differences. Okay. Español, española, Spanish. Americano, americana, American. Chino, china, Chinese. Francés, francesa, French. Mexicano, mexicana, Mexican. Sueco, sueca, Swedish. Inglés, inglesa, English. Italiano, italiana, Italian. Ruso, rusa, Russian. Argentino, argentina, Argentinian. Portugués, portuguesa, Portuguese. Canadiense, Canadian. Danés, danesa, Danish. Polaco, polaca, Polish. It's interesting to say that in English you start nationalities with capital letter, you know, yes? However, in Spanish, except at the beginning of a sentence or after a period, you start with lower case. It's very, very important. We saw nationalities, we learned nationalities, and now we are going to learn countries. It's something complementary, yes? It's almost the same. You need to know. For example, we are going to see the same, but we are going to, in this case, to learn the country. Before we say español, española, we see the country España, España, Spain. Estados Unidos, Estados Unidos, United States. China, China. Francia, France. México, Mexico. Suecia, Sweden. Reino Unido, United Kingdom. Italia, Italy. Rusia, Russia. Argentina, Argentinian. Portugal, Portugal. Canada, Canada. Dinamarca, Denmark. And Polonia, Poland. Okay, we repeat very fast for the pronunciation. España, only in Spanish. España, Estados Unidos, China, Francia, México, Suecia, Reino Unido, Italia, Rusia, Argentina, Portugal, Canadá, Dinamarca, Polonia. Bueno, well, it has been a pleasure to be with you till the end of this program and to share, especially when we talk about nationalities, about countries, is really very, very interesting because we are in a multicultural society and never you know when you need this information. I think that very, very usual. Hi, hola, ¿qué tal? How are you? This is a new program of, of Spanish lessons, classes. The most important that you are interactive in grammar. Repeat, but.
Come forward also.
Más?
And then
Espera.
that's it.
Is better?
Much better.
And look at the camera when you
Okay, I start again, okay?
Okay.
Well, you tell me. When? I can?
Action.
Hi, hola, ¿qué tal? This is a new program of Spanish lessons. I hope you like the previous programs and you can practice a little bit. The most important is that we explain grammar, we give you expressions, but the most important is that you can practice after. That is an interactive class. So after our lesson, you can practice. I don't know if somebody speaks Spanish around you, or perhaps you have friends, or perhaps you can have a new Spanish friends. Okay, as usual, it's a pleasure to be with you from here. ¿Qué tal? And we start, and we do with pronombres interrogativos. You can see interrogative pronouns. The first one, ¿qué? What? ¿Qué es esto? What is it? Okay, we use for objects. The next interrogative pronoun, ¿cuál? As well for objects, normally we use when we have to choose between two things. ¿Cuál prefieres? For example, you have two pens. Which do you prefer? ¿Quién? For people. Who? ¿Quién es? Who is it? And ¿cómo? For example, to say hello when you meet anybody. ¿Cómo estás? How are you? We repeat, okay? ¿Qué? What? ¿Cuál? Which? ¿Quién? Who? ¿Cómo? How? ¿De quién? Whose? ¿De quién es el coche? Whose car is it? Another pronoun. ¿Cuándo? Is when. ¿Cuándo estudias? When do you study? Okay, can you see? And ¿dónde? ¿Dónde? Is for location, for places. ¿Dónde estudias? Where do you study? It's very interesting that you can see that in Spanish, okay, you post as well question mark at the beginning of the question, and as well a graphic accent in the words. You can say, in this case, ¿quién? ¿Cuándo? ¿Quién? In the I, en la E. ¿Cuándo? In the A, you have accent, graphic accent, y ¿dónde? In the O. ¿Por qué? Pay attention, porque is two words. Sometimes it's together, but in this case it's two words because it's a question. ¿Por qué in English means why. Why. For example, ¿por qué hablas? ¿Por qué hablas? Why do you speak? You want to know the reason. And the question is very interesting because you say in English, because, for example, because I like, porque me gusta. In English, it's because. In Spanish, because is por qué. It's just one word. Now, when it's the question, is por qué, two words. When it's the answer, it's just one word and no graphic accent. ¿Por qué? In the question, you can see that there is a graphic accent. We keep doing. Next one. ¿Cuánto? ¿Cuánta? ¿Cuánto? ¿Cuánta? You can see that in this case I say cuánto. Cuánto is masculine, ends in O. Cuánta is a feminine, ends in A. In Spanish, especially in adjectives, we have in this case feminine, masculine, gender. I explained in another chapter. It's very, very interesting. Okay, and for example, cuánto es? You go to a shop. You want to buy something, and of course you need to ask how much is it. Here you have the perfect question. ¿Cuánto es? The next one. Okay, ¿cuántos? ¿Cuántas? In this case is how many. Pay attention. ¿Cuántos is masculine, O, and plural? ¿Cuántos? And cuántas is feminine, plural. ¿Cuántos? ¿Cuántas? As I told you, I explain you in the future just to introduce the concept. Okay? And for example, how many? ¿Cuántos amigos tienes? How many friends do you have? Okay? It's very, very helpful. We repeat again, just to check, just to revise. ¿Por qué? Why? ¿Cuánto? ¿Cuánta? How much? ¿Cuántos? ¿Cuántas? How many? Hola amigos. Hi, my friends. One day more and one chapter more of ¿Qué tal? How are you? As usual, it's a pleasure, Alexandra Browne. I'm going to explain you today the artículos indeterminados. Well, the name is not so important. The most important, you understand the concept, okay? In this case, you have un. Un in English is a, an. You can see a, an, un. And you can say, for example, a car. Un is masculine and singular. You say a car. In Spanish, un coche. Un coche is masculine and singular. Well, in Spanish we have gender. In this case, coche is only one, and we consider masculine. I explain you later. Okay. Next one, una, another article. Una, an in English. For example, a house. A house means una is feminine and singular. A house is una casa. Una casa. Okay? You know, two articles, dos artículos indeterminados. One is un, una. Un is masculine singular. Una is feminine singular. In English, a, an. Okay? Next one, we see when is artículos indeterminados, but in plural, is unos. Unos in English is some. For example, unos coches. You say in English, some cars. Unos, some cars. You can see that unos is masculine, unos, and plural. Unos, masculine, and plural. Next one, in this case, unas. Unas. In English as well is some. For example, some houses. In Spanish, unas casas. Unas is feminine and plural. Unas is feminine and plural. And you can tell me, well, let me know, feminine, plural, yes, is much easier, no? Because you say, for example, car is singular, cars is plural. But you don't have in English the concept of a feminine, masculine that we have in Spanish. We have, after I told you in another chapter, I'm going to explain much, much better. At the moment, it's good that you learn these concepts. We repeat, un, una. Un masculine singular, una feminine singular. Un coche, una casa. In English, a, an. Unos, unas. Unos is masculine plural, and unas is feminine plural. Both of them in English is some. For example, unos coches or unas casas. We use artículos indeterminados. It's very interesting to say when it's the first time you talk about something. For example, you share an information and it's the first time. I say, for example, me gusta un coche. Imagine we are friends, well, really we are friends, and I tell you, me gusta un coche. And it's the first time I talk about it. Okay, I say a car. Okay, when it's the first time I talk about an object, a person, and I share this information, I use artículos indeterminados in singular or in plural. Okay, keep doing. Now, before we saw artículos indeterminados, now you can see, I'm going to explain artículos determinados, okay? For example, el coche, the car, plural, los coches, the cars. And if you tell me when we use el is masculine singular, los is masculine plural. Don't worry if you don't understand very much the concept of feminine, masculine. As I told you, I explained in a different chapter, just to introduce, okay? And what's happened after more artículos determinados when I have la, las. La casa, the house, we use la for feminine singular, or las casas, that is feminine plural, the houses. Is clear? El, los, la, las. The is artículos determinados. El, los, masculine singular and plural, la, las, feminine singular, and las, plural. Everything in English is the. Before I explain when we use artículos indeterminados. You remember artículos indeterminados? Okay, we check. Un, una, unos, unas. And I said that we use, when it's the first time you share the information or you talk about something or about a person and you share this information with other people. Yes? Okay, in this case, when I say artículos determinados, it's important to say that we use when we share the information with the other person, but it's not the first time that the other person listens the information, okay? That means it's the second or the third time. Artículos indeterminados, un, una, unos, unas is the first time you share the information. Artículos determinados, el, la, los, las, is not the first time you share the information. The other person, when you talk about something and you use artículos determinados, they know what are you talking about. Okay? For example, if I say me gusta la casa, I like the house. Me gusta la casa, I like the house. In this case, the other person knows the house that I like because I share before this information with this person. Okay, it's clear? Well, thank you. Thank you very much. It's important that you check, you study a little bit, but the most important is that you practice with people. Remember, a language is something alive. Hola, ¿qué tal? Hi, how are you? One day more with a new chapter, with a new topic in this, your Spanish program. Today we are going to talk about the verb ser. In Spanish is ser, in English is to be. And we are going to check, to revise, to explain this verb in present tense. Normally in present tense, the verbs follow a rule, but there are some irregular verbs in present tense and basic verbs. Verb ser is very, very important. We have ser, estar, tener, ir. Later, I'm going to explain the other one. Now, we revise, study verb ser. Okay? Can you see? Verb ser in present tense, the verb ser means to be. Okay, in present tense, verb ser is yo soy, I am. You can see, yo soy is I am. Tú eres is you are. Tú eres is you are. Remember, tú is you informal in singular. Just explain, okay? Él es, he is. Él is for men, for boys, for in masculine and singular. Ella is for women, for girls, little girls, feminine. Ella es, she is. Usted es, pay attention because it can be confusing. Usted is you as well. You remember? Tú, usted. Usted is you when it's formal. Ustedes, you are. Nosotros, nosotras somos. I say nosotros when it's for men, nosotras when it's for ladies. Well, sometimes nosotros means when are men and as well men and women together. Okay? And is nosotros, nosotras somos is we are. We are. Okay? Vosotros, vosotras sois. Vosotros, vosotras sois. Remember, that is confusing. Vosotros is for men, or men and women together. Vosotras only for women, for ladies. But remember, vosotros is you. Tú, vosotros is you when it's informal. Okay? Ellos son. Ellos son. Ellos is they for males, for men, in plural. Ellos son, they are. Ellas son. Ella is for women in plural, and ellas son, they are. And the last one, I was in ellos son, and the last one, ustedes son. Ustedes son, remember as well, because ustedes son is you are, ustedes is you. You remember? It's very important. Ustedes is you when is formal and when is plural. It's very important you remember this. Tú, vosotros, that is you, informal. Usted, ustedes, you, formal. Very interesting, verb to be, and very, very important verb, very basic. We are going to repeat. Repeat with me. Yo soy. I am. Tú eres. You are. Él es. He is. Ella es. She is. Usted es. You are. Nosotros, nosotras somos. We are. Vosotros, vosotras sois. You are. Ellos son. They are. Ellas son. They are. Ustedes son. You are. Well, and the most important, we have the verb ser, to be in present. You can make short sentences in present tense, but you need to know when, in what situations you use this verb. Okay, it's very important the use, the context, the situation. You can see, normally we use verbo ser in situations that they have more permanent meaning, okay? For example, I say, for description, when you describe a person, is well, the description is there. The person normally doesn't change, okay? So it's more permanent. For example, you say, él es alto. You describe for description, ser. He is tall. Él es alto. For nationality, we use ser as well. Ella es americana. She is American. For nationality, she is American. For origin, what country she's from, okay? Usted es de los Estados Unidos. Usted es de los Estados Unidos. You are from United States of America. And another use, there are more, but these are the most important for profession. When you talk about profession, for example, yo soy profesora. Yo soy profesora. I am a teacher. You use verbo ser in present tense in this case. I repeat these uses: description, nationality, origin, and profession. I hope that this lesson has been helpful for you. You can practice, and I can meet you next week at the same time. It has been a pleasure to be with you one day more. Bye bye. Adiós.